Guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about grappling, as we've been doing for the last couple of weeks now, going to be going to Cardiff this next weekend, 23rd of July, and it's going to be the Radisson Blue Hotel. It's going to be Grapple Kings 8. Now, Grapple Kings, awesome promotion. As they put on a lot of shows in Ireland, and recently they've been doing the Four Nations event. So obviously it's going to be. We had Team Northern Ireland and Team Ireland earlier in the year. Team Ireland came out victorious on it, and this time we're going to have Team England and Team Wales. So we're looking at some of the top grapplers from across both countries are going to be on show in Cardiff next weekend. Now, ticket availability, anybody looking for tickets, head over to the Grapple Kings Facebook page. You'll be able to head over to their website. It goes through Eventbrite. Tickets, I believe, are about £30-35, depending on where you're sitting in the venue. And there is going to be pay-per-view on that as well. So, going to be on Fight TV. And again, what we'll do is we'll announce the details of that at the end of this interview. So, as I said, Team England versus Team Wales. So, Neil Atkins and Ash Williams have put together two unbelievable teams of grapplers, both male and female. And I believe there's gi and no gi going to be on display. So, for all the gi lovers, listen, we're represented next weekend. So, we're going to see a few gi matches on the night as well. So, now, my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So, Will Snell of the Mat Academy. Now, Will is an unbelievable grappler. As I said, I've watched some videos of Will. Again, I've seen videos of Will over the past. And the one thing about Will, as we spoke off here, Will's an attacker. He's always looking to finish you off. And again, I mean, if you look at his record, look at his smooth comp record, and I think 75% was submissions. So a 75% finish rate just on the ones that Smooth Comp have got registered. Obviously, he's done a lot more other than the ones that are on Smooth Comp. So 75% finishing rate. Going to be up against Cal Pacino, who everybody knows, Cal Eleanor. So obviously Cal coming out of coming from a successful MMA career, and obviously now cutting his teeth in the grappling world, and again putting on some good shows as well. So two awesome grapplers. Can't wait to see this one, man. This is going to be an awesome matchup for sure. So Will, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thanks very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me. I know you've got a comp tomorrow.
That's right, mate. Yeah, I'm in the Bristol No-Gi tomorrow. So, we don't stop.
Yeah.
Weekend after weekend at the minute, mate, which is, it's nice to stay busy, good to stay active.
Yeah. I know we were setting this interview up early today, and Will's saying obviously he had a matchup. Obviously, he's got the competition tomorrow, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it tomorrow morning." And I'm thinking, what, just before the matchup, just before the competition? Yeah, I'm not until the afternoon. So obviously we settled the night before. So because obviously you'll have other things on your mind tomorrow, Will. You'll obviously you don't want to be doing media stuff the day of.
It's fine. To tell you the truth, I've got comp day down to a fine art now. Do you know what I mean? My geography's a lot better than it ever used to be. So that's one thing. But now that like my weight and everything, mate, this just, I've mastered it. I don't stress about much. I get up and I leave when I have to leave. I turn up when I have to fight, and I'm done.
Yeah. And that's one thing about you. I mean, you love being out there competing. I mean, everybody I speak to, I mean, love being out there competing, especially now as well. I mean, obviously the last couple of years, I mean, a lot of people got robbed of their journey. Obviously, unfortunately, COVID took a lot of people's enjoyment out of the game of what we do. But now, obviously, this year especially, I keep saying that this year is going to be our first full year in nearly 2 years, or just over 2 years. So people are taking advantage of it now, where they're out there. You mentioned obviously week after week. We were talking to James Amos, who's in his 40s, and he's saying he's planning 2 comps a month for the rest of the year. So people are loving being out competing again.
Mate, it's definitely making up for lost time. It was a double-edged sword for me, lockdown, because just before lockdown, I did have quite a catastrophic neck injury. I was put in a less than desirable neck crank. Let's just leave it there. And I herniated a disc in my neck, and this happened 3 months, I think, before we went into lockdown, the first lockdown, which was perfect timing for me. So I took the whole time out to heal, to get better. To tell you the truth, I didn't know if I was ever going to get it back, to where it was. It was touch and go whether grappling was even going to be possible for me in the future, if I'm being completely honest. But I just took that entire time out just to rehab it. But then again, it was the inconsistency with training because things were back open for a short period, doing as much as you possibly could, socially distanced and everything else. And then we were back into full lockdown again, and it was no momentum at all. All the comps were they were gone. So definitely making up for lost time, and I've been active competing again basically since things reopened again. I think it was last sort of October. It's just been non-stop since then, to tell you the truth. At least one a month, if not more. Anything I can get my hands on. You mentioned like Smooth Comp, but there's all the All-Stars events as well. I've been, any inter clubs going, I've been jumping on them. Anybody like looking for, late fill-ins for sub-only grappling, I'm the first in their DMs just to be like, look, I messaged one the other day and they were like, mate, we're in Nottingham, don't you? I was like, that's fine. I'll come up. I'll give it a crack. And I don't think he really wanted me to do the journey. It's like, no, it's fine. We'll find someone local. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's fine. But 34 years of age now, mate. And it's like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu on and off for 10 years plus. But no word of a lie, there's footage on me from the Hereford Open in 2010, I think, somewhere. So it's taking what I can while I can. The body's only got so many pain tokens left in it, mate, and I'm just grinding it out.
You mentioned that, obviously, taking the time to heal. I mean, a lot of people did that during lockdown because how many people have you ever met in jiu-jitsu that are not walking about with an injury or something sore? Do you know what I mean? We walk about, even guys in like their 20s and 30s are walking about like old men. With it, you get that slow walk, and you think to yourself, do you know what I mean? Like old people are passing us in the street. So
well, you yourself, Stuart, you're Masters competitor, so the score, mate. If you got one good knee, you can crack on. You don't need two.
That's true. That's what I think. It was a Hensel Gracie thing. That's what Hensel used to say. He's like, if he broke an arm, he still had another arm. If he broke a leg, he still had another leg. So
and plus, fingers and toes don't count.
Yeah, they don't at all. They don't at all.
Just look after that neck, you'll be fine.
Yes.
You'll find a way.
And then what about you then? So obviously training. I mean, you keep yourself in phenomenal shape. Do you know what I mean? We see that. I know you were laughing about filters and stuff like that, but I mean, you are in phenomenal shape. You keep yourself, you keep yourself working. You're always training. You're always keeping yourself good. So what for you? What's a typical week training wise for you?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll make some form of grappling or wrestling 4 to 5 times a week. I'll squeeze strength and conditioning in the other 2. Sometimes I'll do strength and conditioning and grappling on the same day. No week is typical. I've got a full-time career. I'm a father. So everything's a juggle, and it's if I got an hour here, right, I'll get down to the gym, I'll do some kettlebells, or I'll go for, I don't even need a gym. If I've got like a spare hour, I'll go for a run. I haven't got a program per se. Like a lot of people seem to be like, oh, what's your diet like? What's your training like? It's simple stuff, really is. It's just I track my foods. I've got that down to a bit of an art. I know where I need to be to lose fat and maintain muscle, etc. Anybody can do that. The training itself, like I said, that like there's nothing out of the ordinary in there. It's just probably work rate more than anything else. Just committing to getting it done. At first, I did find it quite hard to juggle like the conditioning with the grappling, but the body gets used to it. It's going down a bit now. Obviously, 34 years of age, as I said, but we still get it done, mate. We still get it done. But as I said, the filters do help. The filters do help, but no, it's
He's been very modest here. He's been very
Well,
modest. So
you know, it's one of those things, mate. It's like I never was like, right, that's it. I'm getting abs. You know,
yeah,
it was just a byproduct of just trying to be as good at jiu-jitsu as I could be. You know,
yeah,
keeping the lifestyle healthy, keeping the diet healthy, and
yeah,
you know, I don't smoke. I very rarely drink. It's just, you know, it's just been a byproduct of just keeping on the straight and narrow and
yeah,
trying to give it the best run I can while I can.
yeah,
As I mentioned earlier, you know, it's the you know, particularly with the injury that I experienced, like it's like something could go at any minute, and that's it.
yeah,
You can't, your competitive days are done.
yeah.
So just go all out, just give it 110%. And I've sacrificed a lot to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's you know, a lot of time. Like I said, I got a full-time job. You know, I'm a father as well. So you know, you us jiu-jitsu guys, like we do sacrifice a lot.
Yeah,
You know, I think there's a lot to be said for that. Like a lot of people don't. That's not focused on enough. Like how much we give up for the sport.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you know, it's just about doing as much as you can with the time you've got, mate.
yeah.
You know.
How do you juggle as well family? Because obviously, like my family are older, so see when I go out the house to train, and they can't wait for me to leave to get me
Yeah.
out the house. So how do you juggle obviously the family? Because obviously you mentioned family life. You got obviously a full-time job. Obviously you do train quite a bit as well. So and I know you love spending time with the family as well. So obviously we see that
Um.
obviously Instagram and so on. So how do you juggle that?
Well, I'm a single gentleman at the minute. So I'll just put that out there. But my boy is my everything. So it's I'll have him literally every 3 minutes that I've got that I'm not training.
Yeah,
So my life is work. My boy Cassius, jiu-jitsu, rinse and repeat, week in, week out.
yeah,
I don't think I would be any good at one without the other, if that
yes,
makes sense. You know, so
yeah,
it's like they balance each other out.
yeah,
You know, it's a perfect storm, mate. You know, people
yeah,
say to me all the time, like, "Oh man, your life must be so hectic. Like you practically live in the gym.
yeah,
Like you're part of the furniture at the academy. Like where do you fit everything else in?" And it's like
yeah,
I wouldn't be here if I didn't get my fix of that, and vice versa. You know, and
yeah,
there's a lot to be said for that, mate. You know,
yeah.
the,
How old's your boy?
he's 6,
Right, right. So
just turned 6 in June. Yeah, he's a great kid, mate. I funny enough, I did try and get him into grappling earlier on this year, so back end of last year. He did well, got a few stripes on his belt, which is always nice to see as a dad. But I'll get him back to it when he's a little bit older. I think he's a
yeah,
bit preoccupied with dinosaurs at the minute and things like that. You know, it's jiu-jitsu is not his priority, so I won't push it.
yeah. It's one of them things. I mean, as the kids, as they might come into it and then they'll maybe leave it and do maybe like boys will go into football or rugby or something like
Yeah,
that. But then later on in life, especially if dads are doing it or mums are doing it or other family members are doing it, you tend to find that at some point they will come back to it. So,
yeah,
and I love it as well. I mean, I see like dads and sons or mums and daughters on cards together. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like maybe sub-only cards or local competitions or whatever, and seeing the two of them on the same competition is absolutely brilliant. I've done it with my son. Me and my son were in the same competition. And I remember people saying to my son, "See if you ever came up against your dad in an absolute, like what would you do?" And he would always tell people, "I'm going to smash him." so,
yeah,
so so it's
yeah,
brilliant. I mean, obviously, and again, obviously, your son, I'm 100% sure. Do you take
yeah.
like the medals? Because again, I was speaking to a couple of other dads, and when you win gold medals, you go up the road and the son's wearing them or the daughter's wearing them, and they're very excited when you come home with any medals.
Yeah, every time I win a medal, he gets to keep it for a bit. Um, yeah, I keep him safe because you never know what he'll end up doing with them. But
Yeah,
one of his favorites actually was I won a he won a medal. It was like a trophy. It was for the fastest submission of the night, I think. And
yeah,
I can't remember where it was now. I think it was like maybe Swindon or something.
yeah,
Um, So they handed it to me at the end of the night, and it was like all these stars. And I just thought, the first thing I thought when I saw that was, right, that's going to Cass. I think it's in his bedroom now. So, in terms of the actual medals, mate, yeah, he gets to keep them for a few days. He likes wearing them around his neck and looking proud. But I did try and take a picture of him before with all of them around his neck, but he was just like getting way down to the ground. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll wait until he's a bit older for that one. But hopefully, mate, hopefully he'll have his own medal someday. I don't want to push him. I don't want to push him because he'll just go the other way. You know what it is.
Yeah.
So
he'll come in. I'm 100% sure. The more and more he sees you out there doing it, what you're doing, then obviously one day he's going to be like, well, I want to do that as well. I want to be a champ just like Dad. So
that'll be amazing.
And then what about you then? Team Wales, obviously representing team captain Ash Williams. So how did that come about for you?
Well, funny enough, this was probably verbally agreed. Well, I recently did Polaris, and this was actually verbally agreed before the Polaris fight was even put into play. So I knew this one was going to happen first. I think they were discussing matchups, or all the coaches had I think they must have had a group chat, and they were discussing potential matchups. And Wayne, my coach, Wayne Samways, put me forward as a pick. And I think some of Cal Eleanor's team said, right, Cal will take Will Snell at 85 kilograms. Now, I'm fully aware that, 85 is less than I normally grapple at. 88 is normally the lowest that I can do. Yeah. And Cal, I believe he's given up a fair bit at that as well. So I'm cutting. He's coming in probably heavier than he's ever been. I think Wayne was just really excited about that. He was like, "Yeah, I think that'd be a great scrap for you, mate." So he put me forward, and it was like I said, it was verbally agreed. Quite a while ago. Yeah, but just to even be considered, mate, it is a win. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds. There's a lot of people who are going to think that's a bit corny, but it's to be put forward for an event, Team Wales, Team England. Look at the people on the card. Mate, I'm just buzzing.
Yeah. I'd say it's an awesome card. And it's a big card as well. I think, what did I look? There was 28 fights, I believe. Maybe a little bit more now. I think it was 56 fighters across both Wales and England. So it's a big card as well. And as I said, a lot of unbelievable people, both sides, Team England and Team Wales. So it's going to make for an awesome event. And again, it's in Cardiff, which is absolutely brilliant as well. Originally going to be Southampton, and then obviously now moved to Cardiff as well. So it's a lot closer, certainly for the Welsh guys. It's a lot closer than anybody representing Team Wales. So
Well, the Radisson is I've been to a couple of events in the Radisson Blue in Cardiff town. So I know the venue well, mate. It's a great venue. So when they moved it from Newport to there, it was that's fantastic, mate. Closer for me as well.
Yes. That's the thing. Quite a few of Team Wales that's on their doorstep. So, and they were like, we've literally 5 minutes away. So, which again, it's not unusual for us to be traveling hundreds of miles, in some case thousands of miles, just to get a couple of matchups. Do you know what I mean? So to have it quite close to you is obviously a very big bonus. You don't need to worry about all day traveling and stuff like that.
Mate, I tell you what, I've been spoiled because obviously we had Polaris in Newport.
Yeah.
We've got Grapple Kings in Cardiff. And it's like, brilliant. Love it.
You're getting spoiled, Will. You're getting spoiled, man.
I'm being punished, mate. The week after, I got a victory up in Liverpool. So, you can't get them all. But I'll take the local ones while they're going, mate.
Definitely. And then, what about you then going forward? So, again, as I say, I know you love being out there. You love being out there competing. You've said that as well. Obviously, you just want to be out there competing as much as possible. But what do you fancy seeing yourself doing for the rest of the year?
Right. So I want to be honest with you, mate, like having won the British, that was like my goal this year, was to win the British within my bracket. So I did that in convincing fashion as well. So that's what's important to me. It was hard, but it was convincing. I've kind of put the gi on the back burner for the time being.
Yeah.
I want to focus on my no-gi game. I don't really feel like I've had an opportunity to show my no-gi game that much. I want to show more of it because I'm definitely capable of a lot more than I put on display in no-gi. I focused a lot on my leg lock game this year. My wrestling, I've been working on hard as well. I want to put that into play. So between now and the rest of the year, mate, it's just flat out anything I can find, no-gi grappling.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
I'll fight up belts if I have to. I'll drive halfway up the country if I have to. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to stay as active as possible. The gi actually is like the gi will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
It will always be there to fall back on, when both my knees are blown out and I can't keep up with the young guys. Because I mean, let's face it, it's a young guy's sport, isn't it? Like
as no-gi especially. Yeah.
No-gi is a young man's sport, and you see these 22, 23-year-olds and they're so hungry for it. And I am, but like physically they're on another level. So I'm gonna, while I can still contend with that, I want to make the most of it. And then, like I said, I'll pick the gi up when I'm 45. That's fine. Hopefully, mate, I can do a Yoel Romero and just keep in there till I'm like in my mid 40s. But I haven't got those crazy Cuban genetics, unfortunately.
Yeah, then you'll have the old man's division. Then you'll be in the old man's division, coming kicking it with us masters.
Yeah, but that's what's interesting about the last couple of matchups. Like the Polaris one, like I could have so easily been fed to the dogs in Polaris, like so easy. But like they fed me, like I said, they gave me Will Davis, which was he's a Masters competitor himself. Also a purple belt. It was the perfect matchup, mate. So like that makes it all the better. Now with Cal, same. He's roughly my age, I think. And this is what you want. You want to make fair yet explosive matchups.
Yeah.
And it's great to have people that are willing to put on those fights because yourself. They could easily say like, screw that. We just want 10 matchups of 25-year-old black belts just trying to go at each other, but they're giving everybody a chance. Any age, any belt. I mean, what more can you ask for? It's amazing to see the sport become that, because I think like the bigger it comes, like the wider the base for the level of interest that people get. From promoters, and it's like. Yeah, it's just to be put forward at 34, purple belt as well. Just say, look, you want to fancy a grapple? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a win.
I mean, you're right. I mean, like 5 years ago, most of the events that were putting on, there was all black belts.
Yeah,
when they were bringing in like top black belts and stuff like that, and then I think obviously like you had things like Grapple Fest. Grapple Fest then started bringing in, well, let's put on blue belts and purple belts and so on.
Yeah.
And then you had obviously Grapple Kings coming in doing something similar, SGI in Scotland, and then obviously Polaris obviously putting on events for different belts as well. So we're now seeing it because, do you know what I mean? I've seen some black belt no-gi matches, and I've seen some blue belt no-gi matches, and the blue belt no-gi matches were so much better to watch than the black belt one. And so, I mean, even down at the lower belts, man, I mean, the lower belts, again, because they maybe don't get as much opportunity, they'll put on a lot better show. Blue belts, purple belts and stuff like that. So it's brilliant to see it's evolved so much over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, mate. It's like, it's the opportunity that they're giving like the lower belts as well, because like at the end of the day, like maybe not so much like with my age bracket, but you look at the younger guys and it's like, all right, today's purple belts are going to be like, they're going to get there eventually, and that's how stars rise in jiu-jitsu. You just got to look back at like your Gordon Ryans and people like that, and they were huge, mate, before they were black belts, and it's if we can just get that over here as well, that would be fantastic. Let's create stars in jiu-jitsu. Let's not just wait for them to get the black belt to start paying notice. Let's follow their journeys. I love that stuff, mate. Like I watch a lot of stuff on Flow. Like everybody's watching the Who's Next thing at the moment, and you got like blue belts and purple belts on there, and you're just like, man, like these guys are going to be killers in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And
We
that's
see with
exciting to
Daisy
watch.
Fresh. We see with the Daisy Fresh boys when they came over. I mean, you had
Yeah,
blue belts.
exactly.
Yeah, Jared Schaefer, Tad Cravens, and so on, just coming over. Like, the boy Jared Schaefer, I think he was only 17 or 18, and he was like a wrestling champion in America, and then came over and got his first win on Grapple Fest, and he was only a blue belt. And you think, man, see when he gets up the belts and goes through purples, and do you know what I mean? He's just going to be an absolute nightmare by the time he gets the black belt. And these are all like future world champions, and they're all like 17 and 18-year-old.
Exactly. And it's good that they're covering more of that now, mate. And like, I think that's spreading as well. You know, people are more than willing to put on like some lower ranks now. I know Polaris have been doing it for a little while, but like I said, it's spreading outwards now as well, and that's great to see. You know, because I'm 10 years deep into jiu-jitsu myself, mate, and I remember you know, I remember 10 years ago it was like if you weren't a black belt, you were nobody on that level anyway. Do you know what I mean? And it's been amazing to watch it grow. It's weird because like I'm still only a purple belt, but you know, with injuries and I've been on and off with training, but jiu-jitsu does really feel like my baby in a way, and it's like it's the way to have watched it sort of explode, and just watching all the local competitors like do the things that they've done, like Ash Williams, for example. Like, man, I remember Ash when he was like a purple belt. You know, I think that was when I started. So many people just like where they've started and where they've ended up, and I've sort of been able to just be present for that and see it go forward. It's insane. You know, I remember the days when people were talking about like a potential, you know, international Welsh MMA fighter, and all of a sudden we got people on Bellator, UFC, and it's mental. Mental.
It's going to be an exciting time to come. I'd say it's just getting better and better. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing it. We're looking forward to seeing what else is going to come in the grappling world. And then final thing for you then, Will. So as you mentioned, you've been in the game for a long time, a good long time. You're obviously feeling it, as you said. So you're feeling every one of them 10 years.
Yes, mate.
But anybody you want to shout out to? So the usual friends, family members, teammates, anybody like that.
Yeah, just everybody at the Matt Academy, mate. Like Wayne Soundways, Lou Long, like my coaches, they've really like taken me to a new level these last couple of years. So I can't thank them enough. They are honestly, I owe them like everything, just for giving me opportunity after opportunity, you know. So just those guys, and plus all the guys that I train with, you know, we're all there to sharpen each other all the time, and I wouldn't be where I am without them. So just thanks very much to everybody at the mat, and let's keep on cracking.
Definitely. So there we go, guys. We're going to have Will Snell, the Matt Academy. He's going to be up against Northeast Jiu-Jitsu's Cal Pacino. Going to be next Saturday.
Cal. I'm coming for you, son. We had a little face off with Polaris, but it was all friendly. But there'll be scrambles, mate. Don't sleep on me, bro.
So it's going to be next Saturday, Grapple Kings 8. It's going to be Radisson Blue Hotel in Cardiff. Now, again, ticket availability, head over to the Grapple Kings Facebook page, and it takes you to Eventbrite, £30 or £35 for a ticket. Anybody that can't make it, Fight TV. Now, Fight TV, a couple of different payment options. We talked about the standalone payment, standalone pay-per-view price is $14.99. So again, my conversion rate is horrible, Will. So I think it's about £13, £13 roughly. And then anybody that's looking at the pay-per-view, the direct debit price, it's probably the most cost efficient. It works out just over £4 per month. And keep in mind that you'll get a lot of grappling events on that. You'll get all the Grapple Kings events. So there's going to be another three. There's going to be three before the end of the year. This one on next weekend, you're going to have Grapple Queens, and then obviously the final of the Four Nations. Also the Grapple Fest events on that as well. So that's all going to be included in that monthly payment price as well. So £4 per month for a fantastic pay-per-view prices. So Will's also single. So anybody look
stop.
Anybody look to hook up with Will? Just drop him a message.
I'm married to the mats.
So he's definitely not going to divorce the mats. There's no divorce in the mats. So
wasted opportunity.
But listen, Will, absolute pleasure. it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, buddy. I'm looking forward to seeing you next weekend. And obviously, not just you, but obviously the rest of the guys from the Mat Academy. Obviously, I spoke to Lou not that long ago. I think he was going to be on an event, but obviously had to pull out because he got a matchup, or I believe on Bellator. So obviously MMA comes first for Lou. So that's what pays the bills for him. So so I'm looking forward to obviously catching up with you guys. So it's going to be great. I'll be commentating on the night as well, Will. So looking forward to. I've already got stuff written down about you, so I'm looking forward to obviously chatting about you on the mic as you're on the mat doing your thing, buddy.
Great stuff, mate. Yeah, we're coming together, mate. The Mat, me, Wayne Soundways, Aaron Carlito also on the cards. We're coming as a team, mate. We're going to crack it.
Yeah, we're going to catch up with some of the Mat Academy guys as well that are going to be on over the next kind of few days. As we're kind of cutting the interviews off probably Thursday or so. But then we're going to have a load of interviews between now and then. I know Wayne's one guy that we're going to be getting on. Definitely. Because he messaged me earlier. He's like, listen, Stoom, if you want to get anybody on, let me know. I'll sort it out for you. And I'm like, no problem, mate. So I think we're going to get the rest of the Mat Academy people on as well. So looking forward to seeing them as well, Will. But listen, enjoy tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow. And listen, enjoy the rest of your training for the rest of the week. And I'll see you next week, buddy. All right.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Thanks for having me, mate.
Take it easy, mate. Thank you.
Thanks,